Hello, amazing people. You're welcome to this amazing show, Morning Charge with Simon Matthew. And I'm so excited to be connected with you today on this special edition of the show. Many people actually desire to succeed. As a matter of fact, many people have spent time to pray, have spent time to desire, have even spent time to imagine or to think. As a matter of fact, so many persons have beautiful goals and beautiful plans on paper with different strategies on how to achieve them. In as much as all of these things are good, in as much as all of these things are valid and they are also able to help you get closer to achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve. The simple question I would like to ask you this in this beautiful morning is, what do you have in your hands? What do you have in your hands? It is not enough to desire. It is not enough to just wish for something or to even plan for something or to write something down. You need to go beyond. You need to go beyond it. You need to go beyond all of that and ask yourself, what exactly do I have in my hands? Take, for example, a farmer who decides to go to go clear the land that he or she wants to plant in, and the person makes ridges. After making ridges, and the person now decided to write plants down. This is how I'm going to plant, and the person did even mapped out strategy. Okay, at so and so time of the year, I'm going to weed, and so time of the year, I'm going to weed again. Then at so time of the year, I'm going to harvest. But there's one important ingredient that must be applied if harvest is to truly be achieved, and that is what is called the seed. Seeds must be planted for harvest to be gotten. I'll say that again. Seeds must be planted for harvest to be achieved or for harvest to be gotten. Now, oftentimes, the issue with people most times is that they are looking for people to come and do something for them, and they themselves don't have anything that they can exchange with whatever it is that somebody bringing, or they don't have anything that they can add to whatever the person, whoever it is that's coming to invest in their business and all, is bringing. So the question is, what do you have in your hand? What do you have in your hand? What do you have in your hand? If you're looking at starting a business, what do you really have in your hand? Do you have the seed, which is what business people would call capital? Do you have that in your hand? Do you have the skill? Do you have the money? Do you have the skill, your requisite skill to be able to start with? Do you have all of that to be able to start with? Now, for you to be able to achieve certain things, there's need for you to plant certain things, because because it is those things that would actually be multiplied to be able to bring to reality whatever it is that you desire. Imagine if after a farmer tills the ground and the person decides to not plant anything. At the end of when it is harvest season, the person should not expect anything other than weed. Other than weeds, the person would just go and harvest weed because the person didn't plant anything. So the question is, what do you have in your hand? What do you have? What have you got to sow for the manifestation that you desire? What have you got to sow for the manifestation that you desire? If you desire to have a multi-billion-dollar business, if you desire to have if you desire to have good education, if you desire to have whatever it is that you desire to have, what have you got to sow to be able to accomplish that? What have you got to sow to be able to accomplish that? And the truth of the matter is that God, in His benevolence, has given to us across board all of the things that we need to sow to bring into reality the manifestation of whatever it is that we desire. God has, in His mercy, God has, in His benevolence, put that into our hands, into our lives. But the problem is that some of us are afraid to sow them in. Some of us are not willing to sow them in. Some of us are even ignorant of some of those things that we need to sow in order for us to be able to reap whatever it is that we desire to reap. So again, I ask you, what do you have in your hands? What do you have in your hands? Some of you, all you've got in your hands to be able to get to the next level that you desire to get to are skills. What are you doing with those skills? What are you doing with those skills? Are you just playing hanky panky with those skills? Are you just doing whatever it is that you feel like? Are you afraid to deploy those skills? Because some of you, the thing is that you feel that the skill is not interesting enough, and so you are afraid to sow those in as your seeds. But I want you to understand that it is the seed that God would bless. It is the seed that God will multiply. So the question again I want to ask you is, have you got seed to sow for whatever it is that you desire to harvest? Like I said before, no planting, no harvest. No planting, no harvest. If you thought to harvest without planting, then I think your brain needs to be checked out. All right. If you desire to reap at the end of the day, if you desire to reap when others are reaping, then you've got to have something to sow when others are sowing. That is the rule of life. That's how life works. And like I said, we've got different things. Some of us have got skills. Some of us have got the money. Some of us have got the time. Some of us have got the time. So the question is, what do you really have? What do you really have to sow for what you desire to harvest? So as you go all out today, I want you to think about this. I want you to think about this. Some of you, like I said before, the reason why you're not seeing certain things manifest in your life is because you've not sown what you are supposed to sow. And the reason why you've not sown it is because you are ignorant of what God has put in your life as seeds that needs to be sown. So I'll encourage you, find time within today or within this week and really sit down and ask yourself these questions. What has God deposited in my life that are seeds that I need to sow for what I desire to accomplish? You need to sit down and do this. And I can assure you that as you do this, you're going to get answers, and that those answers will move you from the level that you are at to the level that you ought to be. So once again, I ask you, what do you have in your hands? As I close, I give you a story. A story of Moses and the children of Israel. Now, they were faced with the Red Sea. All right, and they were faced with the Red Sea, and Moses cried out unto God, and he asked God, what do we do? The Egyptians are behind us. The Red Sea is before us. The only option, we have just two options, and these two options is either we enter into the Red Sea and get perished by it, or we surrender to the Egyptians and they take us back as slaves. And when he cried out unto God, you see, God will always answer your questions. God will always answer your questions. God will always answer your prayers. God will always grant your petition, because he said, when you ask, I will. When you ask, you will receive. So when you ask, you will get answers. And God asked him, what do you have in your hands? What do you have in your hands? I know that to some persons this may sound foolish. God, some persons will be like, God, I am saying that this we are in a very dire situation. We are in a situation that is between the devil and the deep blue sea, and you're asking me, what do I have in my hands? God just asked him, and Moses, understanding who God is, just answered, God, I've got a rod in my hands. Rod in my hand. Simply put, a stick in my hands. A stick in my hand. A stick in my hands. And a stick in my hand. And I am like, a stick in your hands. And God said, okay, no problem. Now, stretch forth that rod. Stretch forth that rod. Stretch forth that rod. And he stretched forth the rod. Guess what, guys? That particular, when he stretched forth the rod, a miracle happened. He stretched forth the rod and a miracle happened. What does that tell us? What that tells us is that sometimes the miracle that you desire would be activated by your act of sowing whatever it is that is the seed that God has deposited in your life. And he stretched forth the rod, and guess what? And the Red Sea was parted to the right and to the left, and the Israelites, according to the story, went on dry ground. He got a rod, something that may be insignificant, but he used that to perform many miracles. On several occasions too, he has used that same rod to be able to make things happen. There was a time they were faced with lack of water. God asked him, smite that rod on the rock, and water comes out, and water will come out. On different occasions, God will bless you in the place of the deployment of the seeds that he has deposited in you. God will bless you in the place of the deployment of the gifts he has deposited in you. So for some of you, the seeds that God has deposited in you are in form of gifts. So the question is, are you deploying those gifts? Until you deploy, you may not get a result. Until you deploy, you may not get manifestation. So the question is, are you really doing it? Are you really deploying that? Just a round off. What do you have in your hands? What you have in your hands could be your means of deliverance. What you have in your hands could be your means of miracles. What you have in your hands may be your means of salvation. What you have in your hands may be your means of moving to the next level. Activate your miracles with what you've got in your hands. So thank you very much for investing this time with me, and I hope to come to you again some other time. Feel free to check out the previous editions of the show on Limitless TV on YouTube, and feel free to follow and like, follow the channel, as we've got amazing episodes on the way for you. Thank you very much for investing this time. My name is Simon Matthew, urging us always to keep living the limitless life. God bless you, and bye for now.